A quill came out, oh dear. Now that happens this time of the year. He sheds. Do you guys have dogs or cats at home? Do you know how they shed?
I don't have one.
Well, sometimes if you have pets at home, they'll shed their fur certain times of years like now.
I have a dog.
And when you touch them, all their fur comes off. Yeah, look at this. Look. So he's shedding right now because he is just like your dog or cat. He's a mammal, and mammals shed their fur. Even right now, I'm shedding some of my hair. So he does the same thing, and you know what? His quills are just a different type of hair. They look really strange, they're really rigid, they're really sharp, but the truth is, at the basics of what they're made of the same
Here is a porcupine
as every other fur on his body. Alright, other questions? If you've just joined us, this is Mr. Prickles, a North American porcupine, about 6 years old. And he is one of our animals that we use in our amphitheater show during the rest of the year. Right now they're on summer break from the show. Keep them in shape, so to speak, by taking them to these encounters and having them do some behaviors for you guys. So these guys are part of the rodent family. They're very, very smart rodents, very big rodents. There's bigger rodents out there in the world, but this is the second biggest kind that you can find in the United States. The only rodent that we have here that is bigger are beavers. Beavers are their close cousins. No. And what these guys share in common with those beavers and rats and mice too, don't you dare try to climb up there and fall, is they have long teeth. Have you ever seen a rat's teeth?
Yeah.
They're kind of really long, really sharp, and they're kind of hooked together in their mouth like this. So let's see if Mr. Prickles will face you guys, and maybe you can see his little teeth. You see them?
Yeah, they're orange.
Yeah, they're bright orange and they're really sharp.
Orange?
Yeah, so rodents have orange teeth. It's just a thing that happens to them. It's complicated to explain, but basically they have those orange sharp teeth, but what's really cool about them is that they're ever-growing teeth. So it's different from you and me. When we grow our teeth in, they stay the same size until we get our adult teeth, and then our teeth fall out. Have you guys lost teeth yet? Yeah, so you're going to get your adult teeth, and then once you do, they're the same size for your whole life. Not these guys, because those front teeth and the bottom teeth grow and grow and grow, and if they didn't gnaw or chew on really hard stuff like wood, you know, beavers chew wood all the time, these guys do too, and they have to do that to keep their teeth from getting too long. It wears it down, just like a nail file or a sandpaper or something like that. So interesting fact about those guys, but they are very, very good at gnawing with those teeth, and in fact beavers, you know, they chew down trees and build dams with the logs. These guys don't build dams, but you know what, they do like to chew on twigs and eat leaves. That's part of their food. What's your question?
What's the dinner time for Mr. Prickles?
Dinner time? His dinner time is whenever we're going to train him. So usually it's in the late morning or afternoon, maybe a couple different times a day. And we'll bring him his dinner, which is always in this cup. This is his whole dinner for the whole day. And he'll get it for being a good boy. Right, Mr. Prickles, are you a good boy? Go circle.
You should train my dog. You should train my dog. Whoa.
Alright, good job. So he gets for his dinner a lot of different stuff. But these guys are a special kind of eater. They're called an herbivore. Have you guys heard of herbivores?
Yeah.
Have you heard of carnivores?
Yeah.
Have you heard of omnivores?
Yeah.
Alright, so these guys, when we say they're an herbivore, we mean they only eat plants. Only plants, that's all. So that means no hamburgers, no chicken nuggets, no bugs. I know you guys love to eat bugs. These guys don't eat any of that, only plants. So he has his green beans. Do you guys like green beans?
Yeah.
No, he loves them. There you go, see. And he also has strawberries. You guys like strawberries?
Yes.
He loves those too, don't you, buddy? You gotta wait for your strawberry. There you go. He loves fruit, so we try to give him some fruit and some vegetables. And then the last part of his diet here that he gets every day is this little nugget. This little nugget, it's like your cereal. It's hard, you know. It's something. He doesn't eat it with him a milk, but it's really hard. And you know why we give him this hard food? I kind of already hinted at it before. It has to do with his teeth, right? So this really hard food is the same thing as he would eat out in the wild, eating a lot of sticks. It is hard, so it wears down his teeth. And it gives him, you know, all those nice plant fibers and vitamins and minerals, all that stuff he needs to stay a big, strong, healthy boy.
Yeah.
Yep, and target. Good. So look at his long meals. You know, rodents like to hold their food when they chew, but he has these long meals. Can I hold your hand? No, you can't hold my hand. Look at his feet too. He's got them on his feet. These long nails are hooked. And they're really long, and they are for climbing. So these really long nails are very strong. Help them hook into the trees that he loves to hang out in. And so he can climb up, he can climb down, he can climb side to side. So these guys spend a lot of time up in trees. So that's why they have those really cool nails. And of course he spends a lot of time in trees because that's where he's going to find his food that he wants to eat. So that makes a lot of sense. He'll also sleep up in a tree. And he'll also be safe from predators up in trees. Now, he doesn't have to worry about predators as much as other rodents, right? And that's because he has those really cool defenses, which we already talked about a little bit. Those 30,000 razor-sharp quills are what keep him safe from being eaten by other animals. Because I don't know about you, I would not want to bite down into a chicken nugget that had a bunch of needles. That would not feel good. And it's the same thing with this guy. Nobody wants to bite down into those quills because they're super sharp. And they could be even stuck in that predator's skin if they come too close to him. They'll get stuck in there and they'll stay behind. And it'll be really hard for those predators to get those quills out because most of them don't have opposable thumbs. Like we talked about that today. Yeah, so they can't really pluck those quills out if they get in their arm or their leg. So they kind of have to work it out in a different way. Do you have a question?
What's his birthday?
Oh my goodness, it's April. April 20, something like that. Yeah, he's a spring baby.
27.
No, I don't think it's that late.
28.
It's like the 18th to the 22nd, something there. I'm terrible about remembering birthdays. I barely remember my own birthday. What's your question?
You'll scare him when you pet him and he's at the edge.
Well, these guys are very sensitive to being touched. Now, he tolerates it a little bit because we've trained him to, but in the wild, you know, anything touching them might be bad. It's probably a predator, so they're gonna like twitch and flinch and hopefully scare that predator away by doing that. Another thing they might do to scare their predator away is flare up their quills. They can flare them so they look even bigger, kind of like when your cat, I don't know if you have a cat, your cat will puff up all their fur, kind of hunch their back to look extra big and scary. These guys will do the same thing but with their quills, so they look extra scary. And then they might turn their back to the predator, which is not something you normally would think about doing, turning your back to the dangerous animal. But these guys do it because their quills are mostly on their back. So that's the safe part. So they want to protect their vulnerable part, their stomach and their neck, from the predator, so they turn that away from the predator. So a little bit different than other animals. Does anybody else have a question? What's your question?
What if an animal, like a cheetah, say if a cheetah likes to eat porcupines and he doesn't stick his prickles out in time?
Well, then, you know what? He'll probably be dinner. But usually they are very fast. Now, these guys do have an African cousin that lives in the same continent as a cheetah and a lion and a hyena. But those guys find it very difficult to eat those African porcupines. So usually they're pretty safe. These guys, their predators for the United States would be things like a cougar, like, you know, a mountain lion. That's what we have over here. We also have wolves, we have bobcats, coyotes, and you know what? All those big scary animals can't really bother these guys too much. But they do have one predator that's really, really good at trying to get these guys. You know what? Because they figured out a way to get around the quills because there are some vulnerable parts. We talked about that in the stomach. So these predators figured out where those vulnerable parts are. You're not doing a good job at circling. There you go. Can you raise up? Can you sit? There you go. So this predator, you know what? He's very smart to have figured out how to circumvent the defenses of our friend the porcupine here. You know what that animal is? It's a weasel. A weasel. A weasel is a very smart, kind of small mammal predator, and they are very sneaky. And that is probably why they are the only ones who have figured out how to eat a porcupine like Mr. Prickles. Pretty interesting, right? Yeah, Mr. Prickles, he's going to be fine here. He's going to live here his whole life. We're going to be best buds. And he's going to live to a nice old age, probably 20 or so, hopefully. All right, you are going to be my last question. What is it?
Let's see going to the movies.
What?
Let's see going to the movies.
Is he going to go to the movies? Did you see the T-Rex go to the movies? Is that what you're asking? No, most of our animals don't go to the movies.
Inside Out.
Oh, that's a fun movie.
Inside Out.
Well, our animals don't really star in the movies. We're a little far away from Hollywood. Yeah, it's a long drive from here to there, so most of our guys, they're the stars of the zoo, but that's about it. All right, how about you are my last question?
What if you at night there's a friend of his and he calls him and he gets to go to the movie.
Oh, let's be serious, guys.
All right, who has
Yes,
a real
good
question? All right, what's your last one?
How did he get here?
That's a great question. All right, Mr. Prickles was not born here. He was born at another zoo in Minnesota. It's in a different part of the United States. And that's where his parents still live. But you know what? When he was a little baby, we asked, can we please have your baby porcupine? And they said yes. And they gave him to us. So that's how we got him. All right. Thank you guys for being a wonderful group here today. You were very good. And, yeah, did you guys enjoy Mr. Prickles?
Yes.
Good. All right. Well, then we'll see you around. Have fun out here today, and try not to get too hot. You know, drink your water.
Thank you, Miss
Bye, guys.